last topic, our last murderer. Not too many kills, just one kill, but one really interesting story because it's pretty recent. It's not recent, maybe like 10 years old now. I want to talk about Jodi Arias. You guys know Jodi Arias? She was from Rivers. No, she's from Ukaipa. Eureka.
Is she from Eureka? I thought she was from Ukaipa.
What's
it Ukaipa or Eureka?
No, you'd have to. I'm more familiar with stories than names. I'm the worst.
Oh, okay. Okay. Ashley, do you wanna kind of give the summary or?
Yeah. Okay. So she was the one that you saw on the news, and when she was dating this guy from Utah, right? Travis. She's the one that stabbed him like 47 times. Was it? She stabbed him 47 times in the shower.
Yeah.
And the way that they caught her was they found a Polaroid, and this shows how fucked up she is. She took a camera and she took pictures of him right before she killed him, and then she put it, for some reason she thought if she washed the camera that would wash like the film away. And the police found it, and they basically found his moments, which was dreadful, by the way. Like seeing that guy's the fear in his eyes right before he's being stabbed. But in court, she tried to play she changed her look completely, right? So she went from like being this blonde bombshell, seductress woman to, in court, she tried to be very homely with the glasses and like
singing
and like very, like acting like she was religious and stuff. Now,
I think that there's some people that just are innately like
evil.
Just can't, like, I think everybody has goodness in them, that everybody has. I always try to look for the best in everybody. But when you hear these stories of, what is it? Scott Peterson, how he killed his wife. And if I remember right, she was pregnant. There was another one. I can't even.
Yeah. Chris Watts. I just saw the documentary too. Yeah. I really want to hear your perspective on this because, as a guy, when I heard the entire story of everything, and I saw pictures of her, I'm not saying that I was like, she never did it. I knew she did it. Like that was for sure. Part of me, and I'm not victim blaming, but part of me feels like Travis, because I know guys like Travis. Like these guys who are kind of very confident and they play the field. He was Mormon, so. And I think the Mormon thing really played into everything that happened because, one, all those Mormons had no experience in sex because, when you're Mormon, you're not supposed to have sex. But then, fucking Jodi's just giving her honey every day. So it's like, and honey's delicious. So he wants this
guy.
Once again, as a guy's perspective, you have no idea how yeah. You get some honey. Okay, if I was Travis and I was like dating a bunch of Mormon girls who were like, let's go to church and like, I don't want to get coffee or like going to socials, like, and then you meet this like bombshell who wants to like just eat you up. It's like, yeah, of course you're gonna break. You're a guy. I'm not saying every guy, but when
all
she's
guys.
Yeah, all guys.
All guys.
Yeah, if I disappear, it's the last girl I dated. I know a lot of Mormon. I know a lot of Mormon guys that did this. They would they did around, they messed around, whether or not they had sex or not. But they would definitely just play the field until it was time for them to settle down, and then they would just settle down with the nicest girl that they barely know, and then leave this girl that they have a great connection with through a real relationship. But he basically he tossed her aside to try to marry or to settle down with the Mormon girl. At the same time, he was still texting her, they're sexting each other, they're saying naughty messages. He should have just dropped it and he's not to blame for his own death, but I do think that when you end relationships, you need to end them so they don't lead to your murder. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't innocent, and
he wasn't at all. And I hate how they narrate that oh, he was a good Mormon boy. No, he wasn't. He was. I'm sure he was a nice guy. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I'm not saying he's like an awful person, but in terms of like not being honest with Jodi, and also like the thing with his friends, and as someone who's dated friends who just like who always give you shit, that's annoying as fuck. You know, like how do you have like and then when I have a relationship with a new person, I tell my friends like, hey, I really like her. She's really important to me. Like you know, it's really important that you guys like her. You know, so and like anytime you hate someone and then your friend's like, oh, I hate her. It's like, oh, you know, like that sucks. You know,
Like,
and
you isn't valid. Like it's, I mean, and that's kind of where you have to do that screening process where you're like, what is it? You're on your best behavior, like first 3 months are probation, and then you kind of decide whether or not after that it's worth investing more into. I think that as much as like if you look at the person that you're, okay, how do I say this without sounding like a dick? You're always going to put your best face forward in the first year of any relationship. You just do. It's just habit.
Yeah.
And you may not necessarily see what they're doing that could potentially be make or break in the long term of things. And your friends might see it. So, and not only that, but you kind of have to see how this person is with your friends. Are they going to flirt with your friends? Or they like, you kind of have to, you can't go in it with your whole heart right at the get-go.
They probably saw her crazy, but also because they were also like Mormons and stuff too. They wanted him to follow. Yeah, they wanted him to follow that same path. But what you were saying earlier, Katar, what you were saying earlier about the whole, I was talking with someone I used to work with, and he's Muslim, right? And he confirmed that to me. He told me the same thing. He goes, oh yeah, he goes, I feel bad for the girls. He goes, because they're kind of sheltered, but for the boys, we get to sow our wild oats before we get married. And he was telling me, he said he dated and slept with every single race, every single culture, everything, but he had no intention of marrying those girls.
Yeah.
And I had a friend, right? And it's really sad because I think this is like how the way that this guy treated her, because he treated her so well. Like, she tries not to do comparisons, but I think she does. But she was dating this Muslim guy. And he always like paid for things, and he was like super nice to her, and he just let her do her own thing. And they dated for 2 years, right? And he was incredibly, he treated her like, he treated her like a princess. But the shitty part about that is that he never introduced her to his family. He had no intention of introducing her to his family. And he just, in his mind, he already knew, this is someone who I'm not going to get serious with, because at the end of the day, I'm going to marry someone within my race and my religion to please my parents, right? And I think that's exactly.
Sorry, I can't stand, like, I feel like you need to make your choices the best you can for yourself. Because at the end of the day, your parents are going to die. And you're going to be living with your wife this entire time, you know?
I mean, there's some people, though, that don't, like, I was dating a guy, and he's Indian, and I was watching that Indian matchmaker show that they had on TV, and there was a couple.
That's a weird thing, yeah.
Yeah, and there was a couple of red flags that came up because I've always wanted kids, and I could tell he kind of didn't want kids, and then the secondary piece of it is that I wondered, I was like, are your parents going to be okay with you not dating an Indian?
Yeah.
And he basically was like, well, he didn't really answer the question, first of all.
Big red flag right there.
Right? And then second of all, he basically said that his sister hid her boyfriend, who was from the UK, for several, like almost a whole year, right?
His accent.
Yeah, and then the parents finally figured out, like, oh, this isn't your roommate, this is actually your boyfriend. And they had a problem with it. They're okay with it now. But then with him being the only son, I'm like, how are they going to feel about that? And something that kind of proved my theory was that they were pressuring him to get his master's degree, and he really didn't want to, because he was like, I'm already doing really well in my field. I'm an engineer. This isn't going to get me.
Yeah.
He already made it, right? And he's like, this isn't going to give me any more
super
money.
Engineer, but what's after that?
Yeah, and he told me, told me, he's like, I'm not going to do the master's degree. And then the next time I talked to him, he's like, oh yeah, I'm studying for so-and-so. And I was like, I thought you were going to do your master's degree. And he's like, yeah, well, I talked to my dad, and he totally did it from pressure from his parents. So after that, I had to make the decision of like, he's a nice guy, but I don't think this is going to work out, because, they always say the red flags that you see in the beginning are what what ends up being later. And I honestly feel like women's intuition is amazing. Like, right? Like we know from the beginning, like what the flags are. And I think with Jodi, I don't know if she saw them, but she must have seen them though. But the thing is that she was so psycho and so crazy that she just didn't give a fuck. I really think she was so obsessed with him that anyone that would have came into his life, if it was a woman, she would have killed them. I really do think she would have killed his girlfriend.
I think Jodi was the type that wanted to really get the package really soon, and she saw Travis like he's got his life together, he's got a car, he has a house, you know, he has all the pieces, all he needs is a wife, you know, and I think that's something, and I know a lot of girls and guys, no, I mean more girls, but guys have different categories of like what they consider the package, but at the same time, it's like you have to be sure that like part of the package is the chemistry. You know, seeing the red flags and seeing if they're flags that you can deal with or flags that will always just keep popping up. And with Jodi, I don't think she's innocent because she strategically planned that shit. She filled her car with gas in little containers so she wouldn't have to make stops, so she wouldn't be seen by cameras. You know, like there are all these premeditated things that she did. That's like, yeah, you were planning this. Like, there's no going back.
The knife that she used and like, was that from her house or did she buy it like months ahead?
It's a kitchen knife.
A kitchen knife, okay.
Or the black ninjas that attacked them for ransom money, which is what she claimed part of the backstory. Really bad lie.
You know, in talking about like you know, chemistry, right? I'm sure there was sexual chemistry because she seems like she did everything for him, right?
Yeah.
And he loved that. And we've, you know, us as women, like me personally, I've been dickmatized before. It's happened. You're with a really crazy guy, but if that chemistry like that is there, like you could stay in the relationship, right?
What did you say?
It's called dickmatized.
I've never heard that.
It's a thing. It exists. Maybe
because I've never dickmatized a girl. Maybe that's why I've heard it. Kristin, is that a term you used before?
Is that a term I've used?
Yeah, dickmatize.
No, I've heard it though.
Oh, have you heard it? Okay.
It's a great. I think it's a great way to explain why some women stay in shitty relationships. Like, as much as I hate to say that, like, you can weigh.
Is it like POG, like you taught me?
The sex is good, but I hate him. Like 2 out of 3 is not bad. Like, you know what I mean? Or like, oh, we have a family, and you know, or he might cheat and he might be a repeated cheater, but the sex is so good. Like, I just can't.
I think I'm not sure if Travis was a virgin, if she was the only person that she had sex with, but I do know from experience, like that first person will always be almost a touchstone to guys that like, you know, unless for some reason they get like, I guess, less attractive or they just become evil people that you're just disgusted by them. You're still gonna like reel it back and think like, oh, I that was my first, you know, like, you know, so like as a guy, from my perspective, like I could see where like he could be, what's the male version?
The male version, pussy whip.
Dickmatized. Oh yeah. Get that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Much more vulgar than that.
It's a lot more vulgar. Yeah.
Dickmatized is like, it's like a funny pun.
Dickmatized is like funny, but like pussy whipped is like, there has to be another word for it.
Dickmatized is like a Vegas show I'd watch where someone would hypnotise with a penis. You know, like
it'd be like Borat, like on the screen, just like
yeah. Just some guy doing this for 20 minutes. Yeah, I mean, from a guy's perspective, I'm gonna tell you straight up, she was hot. Like when I was all there, she's like, oh yeah, I was like, I hit that totally. But then like, yeah, but then again, I don't want to get killed, so that's, you know, murder, turn off. So that's to clarify. But she still has fans. She's still manipulating men as we speak. She's manipulating men with letters, with she's had like 3 or 4 lawyers that have been like manipulated by her because she's just so cute. And you know, another thing we should talk about is,
like, hold up, I'm gonna look, because I'm like, who is, like, I remember seeing it
when she was blonde. She looked a lot.
Jodi,
what?
Jodi
Arias.
Arias, yeah.
Arias, yeah.
Oh, she dyed her hair brown. I remember this.
There you go.
That's the homely version.
Well, look at the blonde version. Oh, platinum Jodi.
Yeah. Blonde.
Don't show the nude pics because we'll get flagged for that. Don't judge me, but Jodi Arias is much more attractive than Casey Anthony. Just say right now.
Casey Anthony is gross.
Was not pretty. Was not
pretty at all.
Yeah, not pretty at all. I don't know why she got some.
Another chick that went scot free.
She's pretty. I'm not.
She's pretty.
I don't think I would say like. I don't know if I would say I would.
I can see the crazy in her.
You wouldn't hit it?
I feel like
yeah, no, you can totally
yeah, you can totally tell. I don't know if men can see this.
We can't.
But women can totally sense crazy. Like, and it doesn't, they don't even have to speak. We could literally look at another woman and know that they're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But wait, you can tell if the guy is a bad guy, or can you tell if he's crazy? Can you tell he's crazy?
What's your definition of crazy? Like what? Like
I don't.
I feel like guys can get away with anything, and it's like, oh, it's just like it's justified in some fashion. But if a girl
That's true.
And like it's not the same. She's psycho.
Right.
I feel women can easily play that victim card a lot easier. You know, with those Bambi eyes and whatnot. Personally, I mean, because look, she's still doing it today. She's still manipulating lawyers and stuff right now. That like men will always be attracted to women, but then again, you know, but no, I can't say that. Women like look at Ted Bundy. Even Chris Watts. Chris Watts is getting a lot of fan mail right now. You know,
Chris Watts is getting a lot of fan mail. What a piece of shit! That's so crazy.
When I saw the documentary and I was like, saw the footage, like, oh, he was chubby. Now I get it. like it all came together now.
The chick that he was having an affair with, she was like really, really into fitness.
Yeah.
And I think I was reading online on like a true crime like Facebook thing. They had a flyer where his mistress at the time, she was in the flyer, but there were the theory was that he met her at this fitness event, like you know those like 5K runs or those like
or like CrossFit,
the strongman things that they do or whatever
runs.
She was on the flyer, but what's sad is that it was at a company event for her wife's company. So his wife was a nurse. Her hospital was a part of it.
Oh.
So
I thought he met her at his job. That's what the documentary said.
Oh, because she was a coworker, right?
Yeah, she's a coworker.
She's
actually hiding right now. She's hiding right now. She's like trying to. I think she's changed her identity.
It's his boss's daughter. That's who it is. You're right. Yeah, it's the boss's daughter.
We'll save that for another topic. But back to Jodi. You mentioned you have the sixth sense for the psycho women from a lady's perspective. What are the red flags? Is it the crazy eyes? Is it the clinginess? Well, what should I look out for to avoid a Jodi Arias? Obviously eye contact, because if there are boobs involved, I'm just gonna be like, oh yeah.
Just like with men, and they can tell their intentions for like, let's say your female friend, right, was dating a guy. You could probably tell if he's a fuckboy, like almost off the bat. You can tell what his intentions are in the way that he talks about her, the way that he presents himself, even the way he sits, right? Like I feel like with women, right? And what to
I don't judge men enough.
to what your point was earlier, with like what defines like a crazy woman? Like I feel like there are a lot of women that get a bad rap, right? Because a guy will just dismiss a good woman as just being, oh, she was crazy, when in reality she wasn't, right? You were doing some shady shit and she just called you out on it.
Oh God, don't even get me started on that. I make my
for me with I guess the ex people that I've dated, actions speak louder than words, you know, and a lot of times like things happened where like, okay, I'm done with that, you know. So it wasn't like there was behavioral things that I caught that I was like, oh, I don't know if I trust this. I guess I'm more in tune to like seeing like, I guess, bossiness or slight annoyances that I do that she doesn't like, you know. Then I'm like, okay, I don't want to deal with that. Back to Jodi Arias. She is still in prison. She says he has a life. She's gonna be there for life.
She's in there for life.
So she didn't get away with it, like other people we talked about. And she is still apparently she's a very great singer. She sings a lot with the church there, and like she's still she still claims to be a victim of because she tried to slam Travis and be like, "There's a pedophile," and like he would make me wear all these little get-ups. But like they were both like, if you listen to the videos and listen to the tapes and the and like honestly, what it's like as someone who's had a girlfriend, ex-girlfriend who's like would like just have you between their fingers with sex. That's what it sounded like. I was like, they broke up, but she's like, "Oh, I want to get you the hey daddy," all that stuff. She was like doing that. I was like, God dang, how could any man say no to that? Yeah.
But it's,
we are very like men. We are very like we submit very easily when it comes to like that kind of stuff. So women have so much more power than you think. We guys might be in control of some things, but trust me, women are doing the controlling for that.
I can say I can agree with you for the most part, except when, like, for Jason, if the Lakers are on. Like, I actually tested.
Oh yeah, of course.
I was like, if I was you naked and the Lakers were on, you would be like, get out of my way.
Did you do the test? Is that like a viral
You need to do the
right?
test though.
Yeah,
the
viral
test, thing.
Right?
The video games, right? But it's video games instead of Lakers game. You should have done that during the finals.
I know for sure if I did that test, it would just be like, put some clothes on, stop fucking around.
You'd be like, later.
It'd be like, you need to shave a little bit of that, and like, could you submit some male grooming for you to do that? And then Jodi, who I'm sure I've looks awesome naked. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I do know actually.
Katar is thought of. See, I knew it. You just confirmed it. I was thinking about it. I was like, he has those pictures saved.
I do a deep Google search when I research. So
is that what they call it now? They call it now.
A deep search.
You know what, though?
Yes.
I don't blame him, because if I hear of like somebody famous who has like a,
you're gonna look.
I'm like,
I searched high and low for Chris Evans pictures.
I knew it. I mean, for a guy, when you see naked ladies, like, oh look, the female form is so beautiful. I don't think the male form. I mean, I know women like guys' butt stuff, but like I don't see anything like awesome about like a moose knuckle. You know?
What's the size? It's just like, what's it look like? Is it
exactly? We're more curious than anything. We're nosy about it, right?
It's like what's her name? That one. Okay, Jason has the crush on that girl from Paramore.
Haley
Williams.
God. So he was like, "Did you hear her boobs got leaked?" I'm like, "You want to look them up?"
Oh yeah.
So he like looked them up. I'm like, "She actually has a nice rack." Like I was like, "Oh, okay." Like it's not. I mean, because in that essence, you're not looking at it for like to like get off. You're like, what's it look like? It's literally just
we're very curious. And
I mean,
and this goes back to like,
but not us. Like we're just like, what's it look like? Like doesn't matter. Like Britney Spears when she flashed her out of the car. And
yes, I look for that as well. I also found that as well. I was like, oh, she gets a pretty good waxing job. I wonder where she goes.
Who's her Brazilian person?
Who's her Brazilian person?
Yeah.
It is exciting. Women are naturally detectives, I think. Like when we search for stuff. Seriously.
I agree. No, I agree.
I'm like, oh girl, you need to know he's cheating on you. Hold on. Let me pull up his Venmo.
It's hard.
Let's see.
Wait, yeah,
let's see who he's been.
Yeah, we did.
Kristin, didn't you like I remember one time I started DMing like this like famous Instagrammer, and she would DM we DM'd a few times, and I was like trying to use my Disney clout to like maybe like talk to her more, but she Kristin started Googling her and like getting on Zippo, like, oh,
like I don't know her name. I'm like, hold up, what do you want to know? I was like,
we know.
We
know instinctively. It's like
she's
you're like, her parents are originally from so and so. She's this age. Oh, she's been married before. Oh, okay. She's yep.
I think I still have a chance. So, Dampino, if you're out there, what's up?
Oh my god.
We would be an awesome Disney couple. I mean, we would just take over. That's really why, you know.
Katar just literally had a sup.
Hold on. Let me do a good one.
That was
Oh no, but Kristin, she did her work. I appreciate that. Yeah, now I know her blood type, so that's important.
She's a good wing woman. That is the epitome of a good wing woman, right?
I know. I'm not going to take Jason out anymore. I'm just going to have Kristin come with me. But well, thank you, ladies. This has been a fun conversation. Is there anything else you want to share femme fatales and like forewarning red flags. How would you spot the oddness of I guess a scorned lover or a bad relationship? You talked and you know what? I'll take the female perspective and I'll give you the male perspective after that.
I feel like a lot of female motivated murders, it comes with revenge. There's like a revenge aspect to it, right?
Yeah.
Like sort of like you've wronged me, so I'm gonna like I will fuck you over, right?
Yeah.
I think it's more rare for unless the female has gone through traumas in her past, right? But even then the trauma manifests itself as like with Aileen Wuornos, right? Like her going against her abusers and stuff. With a lot of the lady killers, like there's a good percentage of them that have past traumas, right? And they're sort of manifesting that later. But I am honestly very surprised at just the pure evil, like the women are, right? And what they're capable of. You know, they say like a woman scorned and everything, but like I think a lot of these murders and stuff, they really underestimate the woman.
Oh
right?
yeah. Oh yeah.
They underestimate. They don't think that the woman's gonna kill them or get back at them, and I feel like each of these like women, they've snapped, right? All of the people that we talked about, there's a sort of premeditated factor to it, right? Like with Jodi, like it was all premeditated, and it's because women are planners by nature. We're planners, right?
That's a good point.
Yep. Yeah. But I think the point that I'm trying to make with everything is that like, don't fuck over a woman because she'll fuck you up.
I try to avoid that as much as possible. So, why do you think I talk down that girl after the hookup? Like, hey,
hey, we're cool, right? Everything's good, right?
Let's walk away from the knives into the living room. Let me just clear these kitchen knives I have right here. Honestly, I would be more afraid of a woman scorned than I would a woman who just was by circumstances evil. You know, like because I feel like just the circumstantial evil is much more rare than a motive like, you know, she caught me cheating or you know, I stole her money, you know, but and it's lack of humanity, it's lack of just conscience too, you know. There's one young lady in like I think the late 70s who just decided to snipe a bunch of kids on a school day because her the police said, "Why'd you do it?" Because like I hate Mondays. That was her excuse.
Just no emotion, just a complete psychopath.
Yeah, just disconnected to society. So
that whole like obsessive issue, like we have no idea what her upbringing was. Like even sometimes those obsessions, like she could have had something happen to her when she was much younger that she probably doesn't even remember. And might have been a reason.
Was she sexually abused? I thought she was sexually abused.
No. Right? So her history with her parents, everything was great until one moment in Jodi's life where her parents found her weed stash on the roof, and after that, she, you know, I think they called the cops on her, and after that experience, it just turned her to not trust anybody, like her family. Like she was just anti-mom and dad after that. Yeah, so that's when the rock relationship with her parents started, but no abuse. But there was a need for male companionship. Actually, before she met Travis, she was dating a older man in his 40s who previous to her was dating a woman with a huge boobs. You know, and then so she was like, I need to be like, you know, she kind of followed that line where I need to get implants too, and like, you know, and then she tried to please him, and then, you know, that didn't work out, and you know, she dated other guys, and I think Jodi was one of those types that was always just trying to fill a void, you know, maybe in a more demented way, trying to make her own family, you know, like Ashley said as well, but in a much worse way because she just tried to fill that void so much where you know, she was filling it with people that, you know, didn't clearly didn't care about her. It's a shame that what happened. I don't think she's innocent at all. I don't think that. I don't sympathize with her because, you know, she did an awful thing. But at the same time, you know, like I could see how her life events would lead her to do that. You know, because you talked to you asked all her friends. They're like, she was a lovely person. she took pictures at my wedding, you know, and like she was so sweet. And she flew out, you know. So I think she was always trying to find that acceptance from somebody or some group of people. And I think when she met these Mormons and they were like, "Oh, well, she's she's not Mormon enough, or she's clearly us." I imagine they were slut shaming her a lot.
I'm sure they were.
I think when you see like these Mormon girls, being very modest and always going to church and not knowing anything about sex, you see this vivacious blonde bombshell, you're gonna feel threatened. Like, what's like they probably think clearly she's not pure, like look at her, she's all like she's stacked, and so I think that played into it a lot too. And it's we have to understand that a lot of circumstances are beyond just a person's actions. They're all little ticks that add up to things that happen. So I think for me to tell everyone else is like I said earlier, there's always hope. As hard as life gets, there's still a tomorrow. There's still a chance to make things better. Don't choose the road that's going to lead to darkness. If I didn't have my family, if I didn't have close friends that would just listen to me over the dumbest things, I could be over the same girl for the last 10 years, but I had friends who are still willing to be like, I get it, they listen, that's all it takes for just, to make someone feel like they're appreciated, make someone feel valued, So I guess a life lesson I would say for anybody out there, if you ever see somebody, for anybody, just even if you're busy, even if you have things going on, like give someone your time, give someone a chance to just get on a level that is comforting and supportive, because you never know when people are gonna crack, and at the end of the day, if I had a friend who tried to be a killer, I think I'd be very grateful that he didn't kill me. So close calls. Oh no, I suspect your husband tried to kill me someday, but that's not until a few more years. If there's anybody who has a reason to kill me, it's him, because he's known me so long. But yeah, thanks for your time, ladies. I feel like we talk about a lot of great things today. So I want to thank Ashley and Kristin again for joining me tonight for this female edition of Monsters, Murders, and Mysteries. Follow them accordingly on their Instagrams. I will put them down below. They have lots of cool stuff. I always love seeing Ashley post her adventures eating and going to places, because those are places I go all the time too. Yeah. So I'm like, I know that. And Kristin, a beautiful family, and she's a hardworking frontline nurse. So if you ever catch her at where she works, be nice. She's trying to keep everyone safe. But hey, that's our time, guys. Thank you so much. My name again is Katar Marcus, and you have been watching Monsters, Murders, and Mysteries. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, all that stuff down below. So please, thank you so much. Be kind, be you, and be safe. Good night, guys.
Thank you.